In this video we are going to see how to set up a Columnar CSV file parser ETL in BHCO part 2. After having transferred the file on the ETL engine, you have to proceed to set up the ETL. In the Helix Capacity Optimization console, navigate to Administration, ETL and System Tasks and select ETL Tasks. On the page, click Add ETL and select Generic Columnar CSV file parser. Select one or more valid datasets, for example sysglb in our case, according to the kind of data you want to load for system or business drivers. Please notice that selecting the right metric mapping for your columns, match and gap, is a fundamental step to be able to import generic CSVs. If you cannot find a valid metric within the datasets defined into administration, data warehouse, datasets and metrics, you can choose to create one or more custom metrics to load your data. On the entity catalog, you can choose shared or private entity catalog. Shared if you want to load data to existing systems, private if you're just loading data for this ETL without sharing information with other systems or other ETLs. So let's choose private for our test. Into the object relationships, you can choose the destination domain for systems. On the collection level tab in advanced mode, choose levels up to extended, so you will be sure any metrics you will select will get imported from the CSV file. Here you have the possibility to force a specific timestamp format or choose if the percentages need to be represented between 0 and 1 or between 0 and 100. In our example, we'll skip 0 and 1. On the CSV parser tab, you can leave the default option for CSV separator finding data, given that it's a simple column. And for system name, we have to specify a column because our file includes a column for system name. The default time interval, again, we can leave finding data because we have a duration column. And here we can choose one or more metrics to extract according to the content of our file. Select one or more columns that you want to extract from your CSV file. For example, CPU utilization percentage and CPU utilization in megahertz. If they are present in the file, you can also add additional columns, such as system name or object type. And then click Apply. At this point, what you have to do is the mapping between columns in the file and these fields into the run configuration. Let's switch to a presentation so it will be easier to understand. So the column mapping is based on an index. This is our sample input file and this is how the UI looks like. So the index starts from 0. So timestamp is column 0. Column index of timestamp will be 0. Duration is column 1. So column index of duration will be 1. Sysname is index 2. So system name is index 2. DS is name, so the lookup is 3. System name in the data source. System type name is 4, so object type is 4. CPU util is 5, and CPU util megahertz is 6. Let's see how it looks like into the ETL. The same fields are reported here into the ETL. Now we can continue to populate the file location. So we're gonna put the folder where we parked it. Here we can choose if we want to course in subdirs and if we want to files to be renamed as .done once parsed. The additional properties section can be left as it is. Into the loader configuration we can choose to put a -1 to generate debugging files if desired. And into scheduling options we can choose advanced scheduling masks. That is not our case for our test. And finally, into the ETL task properties tab we can choose where we want to run our task. Let's save and try to run the ETL together. Before running the ETL, we uploaded the CSV sample file on the ETL engine into the same folder we specified into the run configuration. The owner of the file is cpit. Let's verify and ensure the file is in Unix format. To proceed to the ETL test and execution, see part 3 of the video.